Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
Here she goes. Great ass! And you got your head all the way up it. Say hello to my little friend.
Hoo-ah! Oh, yeah.
I'm the hand of Mona Lisa's skirt. I'm a surprise, Kevin. They don't see me coming.
I will read it, so just relax.
Don't fuck with me, Jake.
Nobody's fucking with you.
Don't fuck with my mind.
Nobody's fucking
I
with
will
your
not have you
mind.
fucking with my mind.
I wouldn't
Jake.
want to fuck with your mind.
Hey there everyone, this is Jeff 11 Bronson, welcoming you all back to a new season of my Al Pacino retrospective review series. Season 3, baby, yes. Hard to imagine, we're already in Season 3. We're already covered close to 30 movies, I want to say. So we're really moving in there in Pacino's filmography. Now, of course, it is the only retrospective review series right here on YouTube that will cover every single movie of Alfredo James Pacino. Well, yeah, new episode, new season, Season 3. We're entering into the 2000s, into this current millennium. And the millennium started off with Pacino with another personal project of his. Similar vein to The Local Stigmatic, which we covered in last season, which they're all part of this box set, Pacino and Actor's Vision. Local Stigmatic, Looking for Richard. And today's movie, Chinese Coffee, which even though this has a copyright date and production or release period of the year 2000, this was actually filmed in 1997. And similar to The Local Stigmatic, it wasn't intended for wide release to wide audience. At first, it started off as just a film that Pacino made again as a personal pet project, that he was only going to show some of his peers, colleagues, fellow actors and stuff, and some of his friends. However, again, since somebody approached Pacino to do the box set and release his personal film, then he did so. So yeah, we do have it. The Pacino purists can actually own it now, which is great. Another film that's also based on the stage play, like I said, similar vein to The Local Stigmatic. Pacino performed this stage play a few times, I think, in the 90s, and it's another one of those stage plays that he just got fascinated with and that he wanted to turn into a film, that he wanted to express his, how he felt about the piece and, just share, how personal the film is, or the project is to him. It is co-starring the great Jerry Orbach. It's kind of like a two-man act, even though there are some other actors in the film and there are some sequences involving other people. It is mostly about, again, it's a stage film, it's a stage play. It takes place mainly in one room, and it's just Pacino and Orbach going back and forth, which is pretty, it's pretty interesting. And this is definitely, I think, a more mainstream one than The Local Stigmatic, which was barely, 50 minutes or something? Not even, did not even reach an hour. This one has a more mainstream, I guess, running time of 99 minutes in total. So is it then like that aforementioned Pacino pet project, Local Stigmatic? Is it one that I can only recommend to Pacino purists like me, or is there something more mainstream appeal, going on here? Well, that's what we're going to find out today as we take a look at 2000's Chinese Coffee.
The plot of the film goes as follows. When aging unsuccessful Greenwich Village writer Harry Levine, played by Al Pacino, is fired from his job as a restaurant doorman, he calls on friend and mentor Jake, played by Jerry Orbach, ostensibly to collect a long-standing debt. Harry takes the opportunity to solicit his opinion on his latest manuscript, a work of semi-fiction based on their long-time friendship. Although he initially denies having read it, Jake later attacks it on aesthetic grounds, and deep-seated feelings of betrayal and jealousy surface, resulting in a traumatic confrontation. Al Pacino stars and directs this one like he did Looking for Richard, and he once again does a more than competent job at both. He admitted on a DVD exclusive interview and audio commentary that he didn't feel comfortable switching from behind the camera to in front of the camera. However, I personally feel he handled it well enough. As this was another passion project for Pacino, of a piece he felt really connected to, his acting in the film is of course absolutely top-notch in this. Based on a stage play that Pacino had already performed several times, this character was a well-oiled machine for him, and that definitely comes through. All in all, no complaints in terms of his performance, top-notch stuff from the legend as per usual. Jerry Orbach, who plays the other central character in the film, is certainly no slouch either in this. Of course, a very respected and versatile actor in his own right. The banter and back and forth he has with Pacino throughout this piece is absolutely wonderful to behold. If one is a fan of Glengarry Glen Ross, this piece might work nicely actually as a companion piece to that one, as I feel that the dialogue, though definitely no David Mamet, the dialogue is definitely sharp enough to keep one's interest going, similar to Glengarry. There's even a few nice comedic lines and sort of humorous moments. I definitely got a few chuckles out of me in this, as both actors are just doing such a superb job together, going back and forth. Chemistry definitely on point, that's for sure. There's a few other minor characters that make an appearance throughout the film through the use of flashbacks that the characters are having, etc. And overall it's all pretty solid in the acting department, but really this piece is the Pacino and Orbach show, to be fair. And it's definitely worth watching it for that alone, as sadly there hasn't been any other collaboration between these two fine actors on film, either before or since. And sadly, of course, Jerry Orbach did pass away just a few years after this film, in the year 2004. Rest in peace, Mr. Orbach, a very fine actor indeed. To wrap up my thoughts on this film, I will say that this one is indeed a bit more accessible and quote-unquote mainstream than, say, the local Stigmatic. Again, if there are any fans amongst the viewers of this review series of Glengarry Glen Ross, then I will definitely recommend to give this one a go as well. Dialogue and acting are absolutely on point, and with the running time and editing, this one feels more, let's say, cinematic than a very experimental local Stigmatic. Whereas I gave that one a 5-star rating out of 10 and applauded the effort and understood what Pacino was trying with it. This one though will get a solid 6.5 stars out of 10 for me. Well worth seeking out as an underrated gem for Pacino purists like me, and even the more casual fans might get something out of it as well. Bravo, Al.
So there you guys have it. Yeah, like I said, definitely more mainstream. I definitely recommend this to a few more Pacino enthusiasts, not really necessarily just the purists like me, or the Pacino nuts like me. I think this is one that even a more casual Pacino fan could enjoy, especially, like I said, if you're a fan of Glengarry Glen Ross. I think you will definitely get something out of this one for sure. All in all, not a bad effort by Pacino. Again, it's, you have to be into these sort of things. I know a lot of people are not even the biggest fan of Glengarry Glen Ross, it's something, stage play to movie. Sometimes the translation is just, it's a different medium. So sometimes the adaptation is not really, doesn't appeal to everyone, let's say. But no, all in all, solid film, solid performances. I love the banter going back and forth between Jerry Orbach and Pacino. Jerry Orbach, now a legendary actor. Of course, in his later years, he was famous, for, Law and Order, a TV show. He did that for most of his later life, I guess, right? I remember him as well from Out for Justice, where he played Seagal's police captain in a small but memorable role. It's like, hey, there's the guy from Law and Order. It's kind of like that. That's literally the only thing I knew Jerry Orbach of, before I watched either Out for Justice or even much later this one right here, Chinese Coffee. It's solid, middle of the road. It's a good film. A better stage adaptation to film, I will say, the material here than the local Stigmatic was. So yeah, that leaves us with the film we are going to be covering next week in episode 2 of season 3, and it's going to be a real winner next week. As next week we will be discussing one of the most underrated Pacino films, one of the most underrated Robin Williams films, and one of the most underrated Christopher Nolan films. It's 2002's Cat and Mouse mystery thriller Insomnia, starring Al Pacino, Hilary Swank, the late great Robin Williams. Man, I miss that guy. And directed by the esteemed director Christopher Nolan. So stay tuned for next week when we will be covering Insomnia. As always, this has been Warren Brunson. Stay safe and healthy. Before I leave you, a quick shout out to my members, Craig DeHoff and Crushes Games and Movies. Thank you so much for being members. These videos are released to members earlier than they are to everybody else. So if you want to be a member and not miss out on these Pacino reviews and want to catch them early, please do consider becoming a member. I would really appreciate it. Would really help the channel out. Would, you know, get me something to invest in the channel back, like maybe a better camera, maybe a decent microphone and stuff, because I know a lot of people, well, a lot of people, some people do say, okay, your audio is a bit lower, maybe you talk a little too soft and stuff like that. So hey, you know, I want to invest in the channel. I want to you know, I want to do better for everyone. You know, I want to do the best I can. I'm doing the best I can with what I have right now, you know, but every little bit helps. So I mean, the memberships aren't that costly. So yeah, if you would like to you know, support and help the channel further, do consider becoming or you know, signing up to the membership. I would really appreciate it. With that having been said, keep punching, and we'll see you next week for Insomnia. Take care.